So guys, here are my 5 choices that I would change in a BR table in a general sense, okay? Of course, I'm gonna focus more on aircraft that I know more, and especially on the top ranks. And it is just 5 examples of things that I would change, right? It doesn't mean that it's every single change that I would do. And it doesn't mean that it is just, the best ones. It's just my opinion on 5 vehicle, or technically 5 changes in general, not technically 5 vehicles, but you will get it. So we start off with the F-15E. So the F-15E is kind of a complicated aircraft to balance now. I still believe that it should be a 14.3 vehicle, although I understand that the F-15E is worse than the Eurofighter in a general sense, right? So it is weird that they are in the same BR, because even in a climbing scenario, the Eurofighter can win from it. So even the best feature of the F-15E, which is climbing and speed, right? It is still maybe not as good as the Eurofighter, maybe. And it loses on turn, it loses on some other things, right? So it might not be up there, but I still believe that it is good enough with the C5, M120, and its radar, the speed and everything. It is still, it should be top tier and as far away as possible from the lower ranks, right? So this would be my first one, F-15E. It's not perfect at 14.3, but it would be the best thing since the Eurofighters, Rafales, and Su-30SMs are going to 14.3. My second thing is intertwined with the third one, okay? And even with the fourth one, technically. So the Su-34 should be maintained at 13.3 with the current state of the table, okay? Why is that? Because a lot of the other aircraft, especially the F-16Cs, the F-15Cs, the Su-27SMs, they for now are in the same BR, right? So if everything on the table remains the same with the JF-17s, F-16Ds, 16Cs, F-15Cs, Su-27s, like I said, if they remain in the same BR, which for now it looks like it might be changed, but for now it's what it is. With that in mind, the Su-34 should be maintained at 13.3, okay? If that isn't the case, if other things change, then it's kind of okay that the Su-34 would be 13.7. But for now, the Su-34 should be a 13.3 vehicle. And why is that? Because, guys, the JF-17 and F-16D, they are in the same BR right now than the Su-34. So if the Su-34 becomes a 13.7, I believe with this third modification that the JF-17 and F-16D should be going to 13.7 too, okay? But that would make another change with the fourth one that I was going to talk about here, which is the F-16C, F-15C, and Su-27SMs and other vehicles that are in 13.7 right now to go to 14.0. So what I'm bringing here, it's basically the second, third, and fourth change over here would be basically to have a whole bunch of vehicles that are in between 13.3, 13.7 to get a step up in BR since we are increasing to 14.3, max BR. This would basically create decompression, right? So it's a good thing. So yes, the Su-34, it isn't the greatest on being 13.7, but if the JF-17, the F-16D, they all go to 13.7, and if the F-16Cs, F-15Cs, and Su-27s, like I said, and other 13.7 vehicles go to 14.0, I think everything else would be balanced. Maybe even some 13.0s go to 13.3s, right? Like the new F-16A. And the last change that I would do, guys, is my beloved MiG-29, right? I don't know about every single one of them, because, for example, the Germans, they have the 912A, but then they have the MiG-29G, right? Which is already that. It's already that in the sense that what I'm about to tell you. But there is the Hungarian one, so I don't know. But at least the Russian one, I think the normal MiG-29 should be a 13.0 on the very least with the R-73s, just like the MiG-29G. I've been tackling this thing for a while. I believe the MiG-29 deserves the R-73, of course, with a higher BR. It doesn't have the most, the best, how do I say, the best dogfighting kind of performance ever. So with the R-73, that would be helpful, even if it has a higher BR. It just faces more times than not the same BRs that it would face if he had a higher BR, so the R73 would help indeed, right? Again, the Germans, they don't need that because the 912A would be just a normal one, you know, in a lower BR, and then the G model would be the higher one with the R73. So it is literally just bringing that to the Soviets, you know, maybe the Hungarians as well. I just think that these Soviet 80s aircraft, they were kind of made to use the R73. Even the MLD, guys, the MiG-23 MLD can take the R73. So, in real life, right? So, yeah, it's kind of crazy that we don't have that, okay? So these are my 5 changes that I would do. I know it's a little bit more specific. It's not very broad and it's not looking at every single aspect, but it is basically just bringing a little bit more decompression, a little bit more of a BR change update that I would think that it's the best one to the table, that it's in its very initial phases. Of course, it will be updated, but you get the point, right? So I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment. And yeah, thank you all the members and patrons. And let me know in the comments what you think is the best BR changes that needed to be on that table that wasn't added yet and I didn't mention, right? So leave it in the comments and bye.